Welcome to the Yo-11 podcast. Yo-11 podcast, mostly Vegas, no BS casino experience, and more. Michael Traeger is a casino and travel loyalty expert who also helps people turn their travel dreams into travel realities. And now your host, Michael Traeger. How's it going, Michael?
It is going well. I am holding I'm holding dice. Am I holding? Oh no, the Yo-11 dice are right there. You see the Yo-11 dice? Oh, you can't see them. Yeah, I think you can see them. Yeah, I'm holding other dice here. I'm holding crap Vegas dice. I love holding. That's like my worry beads. Is dice in my hand. You know I'm uptight when I've got dice in my hand. I'm doing great. Just a lot going on. And how are you doing, Mr. Mo Vestro?
I'm doing good. No complaints. Set up for the holidays. Looking forward to ZorkFest.
I love all your holiday background stuff. Mo Vestro. I love the name Mo Vestro. But is there like a porn star Mo Vestro name? Is like what's your porn name?
I don't have one because I don't do porn. It would be more Vestro.
More Vestro.
I don't know.
There you have it, people. Go to the ZorkFest add-on ticket for more Vestro.
Oh my goodness.
$99.99 until Friday. Then the price goes up to full price of $199.
I mean, technically, being that what we're trying to make that sound like, shouldn't it be at $69 instead of
$69? I always think of 69. I always think of Scott of Vital Vegas because he loves that number.
That's his favorite number. Why. Yep,
it's his favorite number. But I always think of like, what was that show where they went 69, dude?
I don't know. I'm not
the one where they went through history. They went through history. You know what movie I'm talking about. They like time traveled through history. 69, dude. Wow, that Napoleon guy, he's sort of cool.
Was it like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or something like that?
Yes, it was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I knew you knew what it was. You read my mind. Didn't you like that? But they did that. There's a scene in there where they go 69, dude.
It was your impression of Keanu Reeves, I think, that helped it for me. That's what helped seal the deal.
Yeah, no, that was a great show. I thought that was a great movie. I watched it like back in the day when that movie came out. I watched it a bunch of times. I thought it was hysterical.
That and Wayne's World.
Well, also Mel Brooks' History of the World.
Yeah.
When they were like, I remember like History of the World Part 1. But when they were like in ancient Rome, and he's like, everybody check it out, indoor plumbing. Look, now you can pump the shit right out of your house. I don't know why I remember that. Mel Brooks was so good. Do you remember that? Remember they had Piss Boy?
Yeah, I remember all that.
You got to watch it. It is Mel Brooks' History of the World, right?
I think so.
It was called like History of the World Part 1. And then the other one that was really good was Spaceballs. Remember Spaceballs?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Spaceballs had some really good lines. I don't remember them, but they were really, really good. As far as like comedic, stupid kind of shows, I always love those. Though, do you know my number one movie of all time?
I'm guessing like it's a James Bond film.
The movie that I like theatrically, the movie that I like probably more than any other movie, but it's not fair to say because I'm not like a favorite movie kind of person, but like a movie that really moves me, like really just hit a lot of boxes for me.
The Godfather Part 1.
Well, that's up in my list of top movies, but it's actually Pulp Fiction.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of lines we cannot quote from that.
Zed is dead. Zed is dead. I just think there was so many aspects of Pulp Fiction that I love. Mac Royale. Do you know what they do in Europe? So how is that? What is a Kahuna burger? So how is that burger? How is that Kahuna burger? I'm doing this off the top of my head, but there's just so many lines in that movie. But I think the other is the stars in that movie were so good. Like everybody I loved. And Wolf, remember Wolf? Wolf was awesome. Anyway, Pulp Fiction to me, just there's just so much about it. The whole out of order thing, the character play, uh, just everything about it, just really just really really I just love that movie. I can't say enough good things about it. What do you feel that way about Pulp Fiction? Do you feel that you have a connection to Pulp Fiction?
It was a really good movie. It's up there in my favorites. I'm not sure if I have an emotional connection to it, but I sure as hell have an entertainment connection to it. Speaking of connections and expansions, let's get to the news. M Resort debuts its $206 million expansion on December 3rd. The $206 million expansion nearly doubles the resort's capacity with the addition of the new East Tower, offering 375 modern guest rooms, bringing M Resort's total accommodations to 765. The refreshed table games pit area, inspired by a hidden oasis design, introduces new lighting, chairs, and carpet. The high-limit table games room has also been completely refurbished with new carpet, wall hangings, and lighting. The development also includes the 15,000 square foot Montesi Ballroom, opened in October 2025, enhancing the property's total indoor and outdoor conference and event space to more than 100,000 square feet. A resort is also this year's host hotel and casino for ZorkFest. And that's going to do it for the news. And now for the views. Michael, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? My thoughts are that they are opening this new tower at M Resort on December 3rd, and ZorkFest starts on December 5th, which means that some lucky people who are staying at M Resort are going to get these brand spanking new rooms. And I do believe, Mr. Movestro, that you had one of your correspondents throw up the quick press release, because Mark Meltzer is going to be doing a much bigger deep dive into M Resort tomorrow, to be published on TravelZork. I hope that didn't put too much pressure on you, Movestro, but you did have a correspondent do a little bit of press release stuff on TravelZork.
Oh, awesome. Yep. And if it's due to be published tomorrow, it will be published tomorrow. No doubt about it.
Wow, look at you. Yeah. So I think this is super exciting. It close to doubles the room capacity at M Resort. But you know what the thing is? The quote old rooms that are not in the East Tower, they are wicked nice. The rooms are so nice at M Resort and the suites. You will not be disappointed with any room at M Resort. But it's super exciting that they have a new elevated room. I mean, their rooms are like over 400 square feet, if I remember correctly. And they're just really nice. I stayed in one of the rooms. I stayed there recently a couple months ago, and it's just they're really nice, and they also have really good room service, and they just do a great job with their room product. It is a true 4-star product. I would venture to say that the new, okay, I'll see, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I would venture to say that the new rooms in the new Tower of M, especially because they're new, are probably nicer than the Bellagio rooms.
Well, that has yet to be seen, so I don't know. I haven't seen any images of the new rooms. All the all the stuff that we've gotten from their press release did not show any of the new rooms. It showed the casino.
They're in the drive. They're in the share drive for social media for ZorkFest people. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
There are rooms in there. There are rooms in there.
And they're nicer than the ones that win? Wow.
No, I didn't say they're nicer than the ones that win. I said they're nicer than the ones at Bellagio. I did. Excuse me. Excuse me. I said something with a B. Bellagio. Bellagio. And you translated Bellagio into win? What the? Like, seriously?
I think because I just don't associate you and anything you say with Bellagio, but I do associate it with win. So, yeah. That's probably what it was there. All right. Well, if it's nicer than Bellagio, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, Bellagio has been around for a while. I would think any new room would be nicer than something at Bellagio right now.
Well, the Bellagio rooms are new. The new rooms came online in about 2021, I think, or 2022 at Bellagio.
So they're 4 years old? Okay.
Yeah, but I think the new rooms at Bellagio are very like Pottery Barn-ish. like not exciting. Not, you see, that's one of the things Wynn does so well. Those rooms have real design flair. Love them or don't love them. Maybe you love the old Roger Thomas stuff, but they've just got good design. You know what I mean? And we've noticed that, like in the rooms before, like just all those little elements that make it sort of like bougie max. It's just great. And I happen to love the new rooms on the Win side. You see, how did you pivoted it to fucking Win? How did you do that?
I don't know, but you know what I can do? We can pivot to the teas.
Okay, I am going to take it away. So the title of this episode are similar to the title. The overall concept of this episode is move fast, make quick decisions, get better deals, better travel and casino deals. And what do you think I'm going to say? What do you think? Well, I'm just going to say it. Well, unless you think you can tell me if you think you know what I'm going to say, or you can say you don't know what I'm going to say, because we don't share. This is why that makes the episode sort of live and spontaneous. What's the number one issue for people when it comes to finding deals and promotions and other things? Can you guess what I'm going to say? Or maybe you have a number one reason. Like, what's the number one, like, pain point, roadblock?
Not getting to them quick enough?
Yes, that's actually pretty much so it. My number one issue is thinking too much, which sort of aligns with that, right? Like thinking about it too much, which means that you either get to it and you don't make a decision, or you don't get to it fast enough. And that is really, really, really important, that you need to stop thinking so much. You know, it's really important to think. It is not good to overthink. Like when I update stuff on the schedule on the ZorkFest website, I overthink it and make Movestro do a million little changes. Whereas if I just let him do it, we would be fine.
It's not a million changes. It's only 990,000. Come on.
Yeah, that's it. Because of the slight little like wanting things. And of course, you always wind up coming in with some suggestion at the end of a different way, which I'm always like, oh, that was such a good way. It repeats over and over again. But don't think too much. You know what? You need to think for a moment to yourself, like, if I make a quick decision right now, will it hurt me? Is this quick decision going to hurt me? Point in fact, I see an amazing travel deal or amazing price for a hotel while I'm eating my lunch, or I'm in a rush and I got to get back to something, but I see this amazing deal. And guess what? That room can be canceled 72 hours before. But what do a lot of people do? They say, holy shit, that's an amazing deal. Look at that amazing deal. They go, oh, I'll go book it later. I'll go do it later. I'll go do it tomorrow. And then guess what happens when they go back later?
It's gone.
Or the price has gone up. So understand your risk there. If you're booking something that's refundable, and yes, there are circumstances where something is non-refundable. Fair enough. I get it. But if you're booking something that is refundable and you see it and it's on your screen and you're pretty sure those dates are going to work and it looks like a screaming deal and it's the room category you want and it's everything you like, and you cancel it a week before, 3 weeks before, but it's definitely in cancellation firms, then just book it. Just do it. Do it. Then stop what you're doing, put your credit card number in, book it, and you're done. And then make a note. Now, if you've got to worry about when do I cancel these things, create a spreadsheet, create a list, create a Trello card, create a way to keep track of this stuff. This is a powerful thing to do. You should always be searching for deals and searching for opportunities. But when those deals and those opportunities are refundable, then you need to move and just do it. You know what? Some people say, oh, yeah, but they take a deposit one night. I know the deposit is refundable, but I'll forget. And then I'll forget I booked it. And then I'll forget to cancel it. Well, you know what? Are you interested in optimizing? Are you interested in getting good deals? Then you need to understand how to be organized. You need to learn to be organized and keep track of these things. You can just keep yourself a really simple spreadsheet or Google Sheet or something that just you really quickly put like booked Bellagio on November 20th, must be canceled by, and you put the cancel date and it's there, and you put, active or not active, and that's it. It took you a second. You have it on your sheet. Every time you book something or do something, put it on your sheet. It's that easy. Don't put it on a piece of paper. Don't put it on a post-it note. Don't write it on your hand. It's just that easy. And I know I get uppity about this, but I watch every single week people lose opportunities. People lose airfares because they thought too much. They waited too long. They did it. They just didn't move when they should have moved. But the thing that gets me most frustrated is there's stuff that's refundable, or at least it's the deposit will be refunded to you. It's no big deal. And yet they don't move. They don't move. Like we were considering for the memorial, remember the memorial for Mark? Well, of course you do.
Yeah.
2-bedroom marquee suite, right? I was able to grab that 2-bedroom marquee suite, but it would have been too small and it wouldn't have worked. I was able to grab it for like $1,000 with a refundable deposit. So basically, it took the deposit and then it was refundable. And then as we were figuring things out, we realized we needed to do it in like a conference space, like Horseshoe. Well, guess what? Right before I canceled it, like 2 weeks before or a week before, like 2 weeks before, the price had gone up to like 2,500. It had more than doubled. Then like when I went to then when I had already canceled it and I checked again a week later, just because I'm a geek about this stuff, there was no inventory left at all. So if I had been like pondering the fact if we're going to use that suite, and if I hadn't booked it, and we decided 2 weeks later that we needed it, it would have been from $1,000 to 25. Now I'm probably off on the figures. I'm sure I'm off on the figures, but you get what I'm saying. And what did it cost me? I put it on a credit card. It took the deposit, and then the deposit came right back to me when I canceled it. So basically, no harm, no foul. And that's a great example. Did I think we were gonna use that 2-bedroom suite? I was pretty sure that wasn't going to work and it was going to be too small. But you know what? I booked it anyway because I wanted to, because why? Because how can I use it, consider it an option if I didn't book it? Because things change. And this is a great point. This is a great point with Vegas. Travel placeholders are amazing. Okay. Most Vegas rooms that you book have a 72-hour cancellation policy. So, especially when you're dealing with the fact that Vegas room rates start to really fluctuate coming into an event, coming into a football weekend. Remember, you could book a lot of dates at the beginning of the year for the end of the year in Vegas before they've announced the Raiders schedule. Well, think about it. If you pay cash rates, wouldn't you want to book those rooms? If you really think you want to go on a certain weekend in November or December, well, wouldn't it be a good idea to book them if you have to pay for rooms and you don't get comp rooms, or even your comp offers? This can be. Wouldn't it make sense to just book it, since you can cancel it until you wait until the Raiders schedule comes out, and then you all of a sudden you find out that Sunday is the Raiders versus whatever, and now all of a sudden the room rates had doubled and you haven't booked it? Like, I don't see any reason. Does this resonate with you at all, Michael?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah. So I think that's something, and I know it seems obvious, but you just need to get yourself in a mindset about that kind of stuff. I mean, the other thing you need to get in mindset about with getting the best deals all the time is being flexible. You've got to learn to be flexible. Okay. Maybe you're trying to squeeze something into a weekend, which, there are huge conferences that are starting in Vegas or other things. So just be flexible. And that's with all travel and events. And especially like in big cities like New York, a lot of it has to do with conferences and things. So if you're looking to go New York City to be a tourist, but you're choosing a week in which the city's sold out on conventions, then it's probably not a great time to go. And even more so if you didn't book it far in advance. The other thing, when I say be flexible, even be flexible about the bougie, okay? Because did you see my shirt?
Yeah, I saw that one. Warning may spontaneously talk about planes.
And that's what I'm going to do. I am going to spontaneously talk about planes. Okay, I'm a geek. I really don't like sitting in economy class. I'm bougie. I'm a geek. I like being in premium classes on airplanes, even if it doesn't make sense for the flight. I get it. I get the attitude. I have one friend who says something like, I feel uncomfortable sitting on an airplane if I'm sitting in a class of service that is lower than the highest class of service. So that's, I get it. I totally get it. But, sometimes you just need to be realistic. Okay. If you were flying from JFK to London, that flight in the winter can be as short as 5.5 hours. JFK to London can actually be shorter sometimes than a flight from definitely from a flight from JFK to LAX. So you got to think to yourself, this is only 5.5 hours. Okay. Whether they give you a lay flat seat or anything, pretty much so in almost all of those circumstances, no matter what happens, I could pretty much so guarantee you that you are not going to get good sleep, even if you hit the plane, because most planes you're not allowed to put a seat into lie flat until you're up in the air, past the 10,000 feet. And by the time you get up in the air and all that happens, I mean, and then there's the noise of like them trying to do some meal service. And even if you decline everything, you are really, really lucky to get 2 hours or 3 hours of sleep, maybe 4 hours if you're a master. You have to be an absolute maestro of sleep. That is not worth it a lot of times to get yourself super crazy about a lie flat seat. But of course, you don't want to be in regular economy class unless you happen to be able to score ghetto economy class, which works very well. What is ghetto economy class? Ghetto economy class is something you can't plan for. And that is when the economy class section of the plane is empty and you can take a whole row of like 4 seats. Have you ever heard that, Bovestro? It's
Yes, I
probably
have.
an obnoxious term. Yeah. So that works really well. But what's the other thing? There's a class of service called premium economy. And guess what? Premium economy is not lie flat, but has much more seat pitch and has more space. And usually there are 2 seats by the window, whereas like in business class today, it's usually 1-2-1. But you'll have 2 by the window. And honestly, if you get that 2 section, especially if you're 2 people, or if you get the window seat, quite frankly, premium economy, I like to say, is equivalent to like a regular domestic first class. So like what American Airlines would fly from Dallas to Vegas. That's very similar to premium economy. Actually, today, most of the premium economies are a little bit better than that. So, usually premium economy will do good enough. Yes, on an overnight flight, yes, you want lie flat, but you know what? Sometimes you can't get it. You can't always get what you want. And you have to say to yourself, you know what? I'll sacrifice a little because this damn flight's 5 hours and I'm not sleeping much. Now, on the other end of it, if you're flying to Asia, I'm with you, man. If it's a 12-hour or 14-hour flight, especially if it's an overnight flight or it's got all of those time zones, yes, you want the lie flat seat. But that's what I mean by being flexible. Sometimes premium economy can work. It really can work. Also, I always say to people, say you live in Charlotte. It's way better to take the nonstop and premium economy from Charlotte to London and just get to London in 7.5 hours than to go from Charlotte to New York in the winter, maybe get stuck in JFK, maybe have a delay, maybe have all these other things just so that you can get a lie flat seat with that award for the 5.5 hours flight. So now you've flown from Charlotte to JFK and you've had to wait 3 hours for a flight, and it's a bad weather airport in the winter. And what have you spent all this? Think about your duration. You want to get to your destination. So when you do that, you've basically taken a flight that's 7.5 hours and you made it 15 hours so that you can get a lie flat seat for 5.5 hours that you're probably not going to be able to get much sleep in.
Hmm.
So, yeah, even though I'm a bougie bitch, I will fly premium economy when premium economy makes sense. Believe me, I will do my best to get out of it. And sometimes I'll book premium economy and there will be a last minute upgrade or I'll be able to work it out. And I will chance it because I love risk. I love last minute upgrades. I love upgrade programs. Years ago, I wrote an article when KLM first came out with their bidding program. I was actually quoted in the Wall Street Journal. I love that stuff, but we need to be flexible if we want to get the best value. Now, turning onto the casino side, you need to plan your trip around promotions and offers because you know what? So maybe you book some trips in advance and you have a trip book you were really looking forward to. You booked your comp rooms for June. And then all of a sudden, the casino sends you an offer in the mail and your offer for June was just okay. It was a room and some free play and stuff. But now they're saying if you come in on May 20th, they're going to give you triple the amount of free play and maybe they're going to give you this and maybe they're going to give you that. You go, but I want to go on June 2nd. And I'm talking, you're like, this is February or March and you're looking at it, you say, well, suck it up, go change your date, do it on a different date. Now, I know that sometimes you can't do that, and it's not that easy to do that, but that's just a mindset. There are many times I have canceled a Vegas trip I've planned for 5 months and gone another date because I got a better promotion on that other date. Why? Because I want to optimize what I get from the casino. If it's going to be a gambling trip, I want that extra free play. I want that extra resort credit. I mean, how the hell am I going to go to Delilah with Movestro if I don't get that extra resort credit? You know, I mean, that's what I need. So I prioritize that. That also comes to booking casino offers, because when you get that casino offer, and that offer is good for the next 6 months, unless you're the biggest player in the world, which I am not, a lot of times those rooms and those offers are subject to availability. That especially has to do with Saturday nights. If you book your casino offer when you get it in your hand in January for a trip in April, you will be able to probably get the dates you want. If you waited till March 30th to book that April trip with your casino offer, what do you think is going to happen, Movestro?
It's going to be too late. You won't get such a good deal.
Exactly. And that doesn't make sense. So why not just book it in January? And guess what? Casino rooms could usually be canceled 24 hours in advance, and for sure 72 hours in advance. So anyway, this is just like, these are just things I think about a lot. These are things that I think are really important. And I don't, you have anything to add? Anything to add, Movestro? Do you think that's a good overview of like reminders of things that you should keep in mind?
Yeah, definitely strike while the iron is hot. Like I said, don't wait too long because you'll miss the deal, or it won't be as much of a deal as you were gonna get. Flights, they tend to book up, so you might not get your preferred seat. It's just good to strike while the iron's hot. If the earlier the better in most cases. Now are instances where it's best to. It used to be that it's best to book your flight 45 days in advance. And the closer you get to it, the higher the prices go. I'm not sure if that's still a thing or not. Maybe you could tell me that.
Well, you know what the interesting thing is, and I'm glad you brought up flights. It used to be that today you can cancel any ticket and it goes to voucher. Remember when you used to cancel a ticket, there used to be a cancellation fee?
Yeah.
Flights don't have cancellation fees anymore on the main carriers. So really the only risk you have is that you're left with a voucher. So if you book, it works the way Southwest does on every airline. So if you book an American Airlines ticket for $600 and you wind up not going on that trip, unless you book the flexible fare, which you probably shouldn't because it's more expensive, it's just going to go to a voucher and you can use it for another trip. So that's really pretty much so low risk. But I'm going to give you another tip, which I think is really, 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 really important. There are some routes where it's super expensive to fly first class US domestic, often on the transcons. When you fly from JFK to LAX on JetBlue Mint, the lowest fare you'll ever find JetBlue Mint is like $800, usually 800-900 on that on a one-way basis. But it's usually around 1,300, but sometimes it's as much as 1,800 one way or 2,000 one way. But whatever, set all of that aside. You know what a super trick is that you can sometimes buy an extra seat in economy class. And you know how there's a group of 3 seats in economy class on most planes? A lot of planes are 3-3.
Yeah.
You can buy that extra seat. You can actually buy that extra seat. Now, you won't get the loyalty points on that seat, but you can buy that extra seat and have it. I have advised people so many times because we've looked at it and I said, okay, look at the deal here. Here's the deal. You're 2 people flying and the first class fare is going to be $2,200 a person. But guess what? The coach tickets are $650. We can buy 3 coach tickets, $650 times 3 instead of $2,200 times 2. Now, you don't get first class service. You don't get the glassware, you don't get all the pretties, but what do you get? You basically get 3 seats with an empty seat and you put up the armrests. Now, depending on where you do those seats together, you might have to pay a little bit extra to get like main cabin extra or the extra legroom seats. But if you buy the extra legroom seats, maybe you get the extra legroom seats for free because you have status, but buy an extra seat. Now, maybe it's not even that extreme, but sometimes the first class fare is like $1,500 a person and the cheapest coach fare is $300. So if you could think about it, instead of paying $1,500 a person, which or $1,200 a person, that's $2,400. You can buy 3 coach seats for $300 each for $900, and that seat is guaranteed to be yours. It's actually ticketed in your. Every airline has a different way to do it, and it's like ticketed in like Michael's second seat or Michael extra seat. Once again, you won't get your loyalty points on it, but that seat is guaranteed. Like they can't give it to someone else; it must stay empty. So that's another tip that I have. How do you like that one?
I do like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. So why, if really your goal is I just don't want like another human next to me that I don't know. I don't want some person in a middle seat that I don't know. You can buy the 3 seats. Now, I've never really known anyone to buy the 3 seats for one person, but a lot of times I know it where they buy it for two people. But a lot of times just look into it. If you think the first class fares are crazy, look at what it would be to buy 3 economy class seats. Now, in some routes, it doesn't work. Like DFW to Vegas, I don't think it would parse that way, because DFW to Vegas is like anywhere from like 500-600 to 1,200 one way, but the economy class tickets can be from like 150 to 3. You have to do the maths. I mean, but it's easy to do the math. You get the price of what the lowest first class ticket is, and then you look at the price of the lowest economy class ticket, and then basically you're just adding one more economy class ticket, and you compare that to the 2 first class tickets, and then you can make a decision for yourself.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. So that basically wraps up most of this. I really, really, really encourage people to considering coming to ZorkFest on December 5th. And I'm going to say that if you go to the schedule on the website and see the program we have, I am so proud of that program. I was just speaking to the Vegas Advantage people, John Mahaffey and Christina today, and oh my God, this casino, even the general casino class and the stuff that they're going to cover about comps and loyalty, blew my mind. But oh my God, the next level classes, and it's true, the master classes, which are on Sunday, are an additional cost, but they have a beautiful lunch. By the way, Movestro, thank you for putting the lunch up on the website. Beautiful, beautiful Asian buffet lunch and social time. But I will tell you, it is impressive. All of the speakers are so impressive. I am so impressed by this program. And then on top of it, we've got these great lab sessions, which are these small breakout sessions. I just really encourage people to just check out the website, check out our social media, but especially just check out the schedule. Look on it on a laptop is easier. There are these tabs, but it really does look good on mobile. It's just easier to get the full view of the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday schedule. Anyway, next episode, we're going to probably talk a little bit more about that. And I think that's about it. Do you have anything else, Movestro, that's on your mind?
No, I don't have anything that's on my mind at all, but thank you for asking. Anything else on your mind?
Yeah, I do. When we talked to about Delilah, uh somebody I got some comments, just specifically from one person, that we shill too much for Win Las Vegas, and that I it was sort of weird because it was somebody going off on the fact that we shill too much for Win Las Vegas, which we're really not shilling for them, and that we're not talking about what average people can afford. It was sort of disconnected and all over the place. All I'm going to say is that obviously one of the things we love to talk about are things that people don't always experience, or they don't look at things the right way. I think in that instance we were talking about Delilah is really great. And what I will also say is that we don't ask for anything complimentary. We don't tell properties that we're going to write about them, speak about them, do anything about them. We go in there and pay cash like any other customer. This person said, well, you're using your comps. Yeah, but your comps are like using your cash. I hate that when people say, well, you've got comps, you've got resort credit. Do you think that stuff just falls out of the fucking sky? It doesn't fall out of the sky. Okay. That stuff is earned. In order to get those comps and resort credit, you have to really play strategically, or you're going to lose a lot of money. And even when you are strategic and you do the best stuff, you sort of lose money. You are risking money. So it is honestly pretty much so the same as paying for it cash. But do you have any thought about that, Movestro? Because I think sometimes there are some people who've done sponsored content before, some of the big channels with the hotels like Wynn and others. And I think people just have this idea sometimes that everyone gets free stuff, and that is absolutely not true. What's the one? I mean, we've had like one freebie, or you and Meltz went and did one review that was a freebie, and we were offered some stuff, but we pretty much I mean, nothing like we have never, believe me, I would be thrilled if Delilah would tell me and they would like to come to treat us for dinner. And I am happy to tell you that Delilah picked up the dinner for us, but that ain't true.
Right. Yeah. So when it comes to a lot of Vegas content, you know, influencers, often get a lot of freebies, and then they say only nice things about places. Um, I was always against that. I don't take a lot of vloggers too seriously. Um, and well, then you have the doom and gloom vloggers, which is like just disgruntled people who live here. Anyways, um, but I will say this: if I knew that I could get paid by Win to talk about Win and experience Win things, I would. But I don't. And so therefore I don't always find myself at many places. I'll go something that's more budget conscious. However, when it's on the dime of Mr. Traeger, I absolutely will go. But we are not
Oh, I
getting
love
paid
you.
for that at all.
I I love you like a brother. But I will say, I really do look forward to how giddy we get about when we try new experiences, especially when I show you something and you're like, "This is really nice," and I'm like, "I told you."
Oh yeah, because like look, I was raised poor, okay? And then long story short, like there are different echelons that I admire from afar, but when I get to experience that in person, like I look, man, when you were like, "Oh, you have to try caviar." What was my first thing was like, I don't see the value in eating fish eggs because a chicken's egg is more valuable. It can feed more people, right? So that's what I said, though.
That's
There's
good
footage of
though.
this
That's
somewhere.
good. Yeah, no, I
And
know.
it's just like, why put all this money toward fish eggs? It's like, once in a while thing. And it's like, you could buy so many chicken eggs and feed more people with it. But then I tried caviar. Now, I'm not saying that I'm elitist now. I would never look at people playing Baccarat that's not in a Baccarat salon and call it Gen Pop Baccarat.
Who would do that? I don't know anyone who would call it Gen Pop Baccarat.
But that's in the wrong direction. There he is. That's pointing to him right there. Okay,
Okay,
got
okay.
that right there.
Gen Pop, you like that? Gen
Which
Pop
is
Baccarat?
hilarious to me. It's like prison or something. Anyway, but like I can see how why caviar is beloved, in the upper ranks of echelons. Um, as far as free stuff, we haven't, we don't get that kind of, you know, look at us. They want like hot single bitches that go around on like Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. I'm not saying bitches demeaning to females. I'm just saying it's a certain thing, where they want you to be a fan of their channel, so that they have a lot of subscribers, and they offer them free things to talk nice about things that they get for free. When I was running VegasBright.com, I had a lot of opportunities. Oh, you can go to this show for free, or you can do this for free, and do that for free. But then the obligation is you have to act like you liked something that you didn't. And so I just did not want to be in that situation. I would rather not be in that situation. So I don't do that. I don't do any of that. Get something for free, but you have to say something nice about it. It's like, nah,
And
you
I would
can't
say
buy me.
overall, TravelZork keeps the same standard for stuff that's reviewed on TravelZork. It's not paid, it's not compensated. We do what we want to do. It's not that we don't get advertising and things like that, but we don't do reviews of things where someone pays us to go. And I would say, I'm not going to say it would never happen, but if it did happen, believe me, it would be in big bold letters that we were paid for that. And I'll tell you, like, the best freebies that we're offered, and I'm so gracious for this. At ZorkFest, we have a burgers and boozy shake event, that's a freebie add-on in which Five Guys is comping, all those people burgers and boozy shakes, which I think is damn nice. Honestly, quite honestly, I'm more interested in working on freebies for people who come to ZorkFest. And we're going to have a new premium program next year, which is going to have a whole bunch of interesting things. It's going to be a YouTube premium program. But, that's where my head is. Just even for ZorkFest, I'm always thinking, how can we give more value? That's why we just added a free yoga class on Saturday morning, because it's yoga for travelers. And we think that gives more value. And if you're not into that, that's fine. Why are we going to be announcing very soon that we're giving away Raiders tickets for that Sunday. And if you do the maths on it, since you have to be present to win, the maths of winning those Raider tickets is really, really good. Why are we doing, that's my concept of those kind of things that I get from sponsors. I want to sort of, use those for promotional thing. But, like I said, hey, if someone, wanted to offer us something for free, we might consider, might consider it, but it does make me feel uncomfortable because, as Movestro says, it's really, really hard to give an honest opinion about a restaurant or something when they come. I say, it's less of an issue when it's like a low end restaurant or something like that. But when a restaurant comes and they're comping you a dinner for 500 for you to write a good article about it, it is super duper uncomfortable, to at least I think, and I think you agree with this, Movestro. It's super duper uncomfortable because the dinner is so damn expensive and they've paid that and they're basically paying you to say good things about it. And I would almost rather not go for the dinner than to do that, is most of my mindset.
Yeah, yeah, like, I'm not gonna freaking sell my soul for a steak, you know what I mean? Like, I'm good, you know? If I go there
Yeah.
and I decide to do a review of my own with my own money or whatever the case is, that's fine, and I'll be honest about it, but I just don't like the idea of, like, "Oh, we're paying you for this, so you have to act like it's great," and even if it's like I've had better that costs a lot less in, off strip places, I don't want to have to feel like, "Oh man, try this. It is great." Like that's not me, man. I'm like, no, no, I'm too old for that shit.
I will say though, the asterisk here is that Movestro can be bought. I mean, not for dinner or stuff like that, but it probably is possible to buy him. So I would consider that. If you want more information about that, please send a message to tips@travelzork.com. By the way, tips, TIPS, at travelzork.com is the place where you can email us comments, questions, or tell us that we suck. We are always happy to hear all of those things from you. And that pretty much so wraps up all my thoughts, Movestra.
That's right. I can be bought for services that I will provide, like web design, graphic design, social media content, perhaps producing a podcast for you, stuff like that. For more information on that, go to movestro@gmail.com and let's have a discussion. And that's going to do it for this episode. Luxury travel booking, travelzork.travel. Visit us at travelzork.travel to plan your next amazing vacation, not just to Las Vegas, but anywhere in the world. And be sure to find us on social media and join the conversation. All social platforms are at TravelZork. We'll see you next time.